Hey everybody, happy Easter. Hopefully you're having a good Sunday today, even if it's a bit different than what you're used to. I apologize for being a little bit late. I thought we were going to be able to do this at 10 o'clock today, but I couldn't because my boys woke up late and they got their Easter baskets and we sat down and talked for a while. Lynn made breakfast, pancakes, and sausage for everybody, so I didn't want to cut any of that short. I apologize for that. But we're here, and if you're catching me late, if you're catching the recording, I hope you still find it useful. Today is just kind of relaxed. I just figured I'd hop on, see how everybody was doing, share some funny things that we have with, like some of the memes we found, and some of the traditions that I've had through Easter, and I just figured we'd hit some of that. So. Um, Yesterday, Saturday, kind of an off day, we did a lot of cleanup around the house, did some stuff outside, got the boys outside. So we did all sorts of fun stuff. And getting ready for today, really. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna start cooking my ham. I've never cooked a ham before. I'm not a ham guy, but they're big, they're cheap, and I wasn't in the headspace to start cooking chicken cutlets or manicotti or anything like that. So just kind of trying something new. And Lynn's actually looking forward to ham and eggs in the morning and ham sandwiches. So I could get excited about that. But first, before we get into anything, I want to get to the memes of the day. First one, if anybody here is using Zoom, can relate to this, right? Alice, turn your video on. No, it's the button on the bottom, not that one over your left, whatever that means. FFS. I don't even know what that means. Jan, you're on mute. Unmute yourself. Um, I mean, this is last night. It's funny because we have Zoom. I've been using Zoom for work for over a year now, and we had an issue. Lynn was doing a happy hour with her sister and some friends yesterday over Zoom, and we couldn't get it to work. They've implemented all these new security things because there have been like people breaking in and doing dirty things, and they've implemented all these security things, and people couldn't get on, and we had to accept people in, and it was just not as easy as it used to be. Which I guess there's a good reason for that. So happy Easter, Kathy. Happy Easter, Anna. Good to see you guys. Carrie, good morning. Happy Easter. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Appreciate it. Sorry for being late. Um, this one made me laugh out loud, like spit out my coffee, laugh out loud. This is your picture of your pigeon looking at its reflection. uh, you may be wondering why I asked you all here today, because things are getting a little crazy right now. Happy Easter, Pat. So in the caption is me and all my personalities when making a decision. This one I cracked up about. Then we have the picture of the cheese grater slide. If 2020 was a slide, yeah, that's kind of how it feels. A little bit, little bit, little bit. And then so yesterday, speaking of kids, so yesterday this is what we did. The boys played football outside. I mentioned that one of our friends surprised us with some like a little Easter egg hunt in the front yard, so that was awfully nice. So they got to do that while I was cleaning out the garage. The boys got to play football in the front yard. So yeah, it was a good day. It was a nice warm day, and hopefully I think today's going to be warmer too this afternoon. So we're looking forward to getting out again. Happy Easter, Pat. Happy Easter, Debbie. Happy Easter, Sheila. Good morning. Thank you, guys. And this is Ryan this morning eating his chocolate chip pancakes. My man was a hot mess. He had chocolate all over his face. Glasses are on crooked. He was just yeah. He's just Ryan being Ryan. He um he is every day cracking us up. And then so this one, given I figured I'd show this one, given this is generally like the happy hour channel. So like the defined life one, we usually have happy hour. It's too late for coffee for me right now, too early for happy hour, so I'm drinking ginger tea. But this is the landscaping ideas with all of the empty wine bottles around the tree used as mulch. And it's funny, like, So we're not huge drinkers in this house. Like once a week maybe. Me, I could go weeks and not really. Like I like to stop at the brewery and have a beer on Tuesdays, but that's about it. But the the liquor store, like we've been trying to buy champagne because we're still planning on moving this Friday, hopefully, and we're trying to buy champagne to celebrate. And the liquor store, like the Pennsylvania has like state liquor stores, and their website is completely like offline. Like it just does not work. The stores are closed, and they say they reopened the websites for online purchasing, and it's not happening. And now, like, there's a message on the website saying that they've reached capacity and they just aren't going to be selling anymore for however long. So, striking out there, but making do. We'll make do. And then this is what I talked about yesterday, and I'm gonna have to bring this over because I can't read it right now. But this is a kind of a spin-off of a cartoon that was on social media last year, probably years before that actually. But it's it's a cartoon with a guy picking up garbage, right? And there's two moms with two kids, and the first mom on top says, "If you not study, you'll end up like him," pointing to the garbage man, right? And then at the on the bottom caption is the other mom with her kid that says, "If you study well, you'll not have the mindset of this woman right here who anchors her self worth on existing." Wait, I'm sorry. Let me read this over again. I want to do it justice. "If you study well, you will not have the mindset of this woman right here who anchors her self worth on her existing socioeconomic condition. All jobs are necessary, and belittling one or several is a form of class antagonism. This woman would know that if she studied well." Now, depending on where you go to school, your lesson might be a little bit different. But I find that, especially now, kind of a interesting perspective because we have these people now who are essential employees doing work that a lot of people would not want to be doing, whether it's bagging groceries, somebody at the checkout line, in a fulfillment capacity at Amazon or someplace else, your mail carriers, your UPS drivers, your plumbers who still have to go take care of that kind of stuff. Um, Anybody right now that's doing things that most people look down on. Not most. I don't want to say most. That's probably an overgeneralization, but a lot of people look down on a significant amount. I guess significant amount enough. And and you can see these people. Like they're the people that when you're in a restaurant that are yelling at the server because they messed up something incredibly simple, right? And the person that's just rude to the checkout person because it's somehow beneath them, right? And we all compare where we are in life to other people. It helps us in a cheap way feel good about ourselves. But right now is right now as we all sit at home and other people are literally risking their lives to go out and do essential jobs. I think it's a real big opportunity for many of us to look at it and appreciate that everybody has a role. Everybody has a role. And you might be incredibly smart, you might be incredibly wealthy, but you really couldn't survive without the job that a lot of people are doing that you wouldn't do yourself. Now, I'm not saying you in particular, but I think we all, at moments, can have times of feeling superior or whatever, and keeping this in mind would help us. And I keep going back to that story that I got from that guy who owned a software development company. I met him a couple of months ago, and he brought up the fact that he turns on the lights when he runs into the bathroom first thing in the morning. He thinks of all the people that had a hand in getting him that electricity. And his question to himself is, what can I do today that will earn all of the work that they put into this little thing that I and a lot of people take for granted? So I think if we put a little bit of thought into that and appreciate that, especially now, like today, we're all celebrating. Well, not all of us, but the Christians among us are celebrating one of the biggest holidays of the year in Easter, probably the biggest, actually, debatable with Christmas, right? But I think that as we look around at our lives right now and see the difference, the things that we're missing right now, we're missing the big family gatherings, we're missing church, we're missing, the social aspect of life right now, to appreciate the things that we do have and the things that other people are doing. Right now, there are people out there sacrificing their time with their loved ones and risking their own lives to do jobs, to take care of people, um, to make sure that things are still working. So taking that time is very important. Taking that time to appreciate is very important. Lori, good morning. Happy Easter. Angel, happy Easter. Good morning. Kathy, yep, my husband is a garbage man, does businesses and hospitals. Yeah, Kathy. So there you go. And I guarantee somebody that he's crossed paths with have treated him in a way that made him feel small or made him feel like I just want to, and it's sad, and I hope that we can come out of this a little bit better, a little bit more understanding. Like maybe somebody will say thank you that normally wouldn't have. And if we can move the needle a little bit in that direction, I think it would be good for us. Good morning, Levi. Happy Easter. Thank you for joining me. All right, so now on to some more funny ones. So, and this is something I think about because I have a couple of friends online that are hairdressers, salon owners, that sort of thing. So this one right here, I think about them a lot because like their job. Well, one, I mean, look at this thing. I'm gonna have an afro pretty soon here, and or a mullet or something. I'm gonna have something here, but so I can't do it myself, at least not in any kind of reasonable way. And these people can't do their jobs. Like I mean, it's not even something where they have an option where they can make money unless they're doing like home hair care courses online or something, right? So they're literally at the mercy of all of this. And thankfully, some people are buying gift cards and things like that. But I thought we'd interject some humor into this, and somebody made some eyebrows on their dog. And speaking of pets, here's looks like a pit bull that put a little collar around its human's neck, so they stop touching their face. I thought that was pretty good. Still not as good as the pigeons talking to themselves, or the one pigeon talking to all its personalities. That one got me spitting out my coffee. That one was pretty good. I came across a quote yesterday also. In watching all of this, look, today's supposed to be happy, right? Today's supposed to be a time when we enjoy our family and things, but that also makes me look at the flip side of things and the anger and the conspiracy theories and everything going on right now, and the resentment because a lot of people feel like even this shouldn't even be happening right now, which I think it is because it's what's good for everybody. But there's a Winston Churchill quote, and it's that man is as big as what makes him angry. And I thought that was pretty insightful. You see, we talked yesterday about the person that gets mad in my Facebook feed about $2 a gallon gas, right? Just so angry. And it's funny because after I said that, I saw another post about it yesterday. But we just can't walk around being angry. Like in this season, in this time, we have to let things go. Enjoy what we can enjoy right now. Enjoy what we can enjoy. And that's a message that we keep talking about every day in our house. Like things aren't great. Could be a lot worse. And let's enjoy what we have going for us right now. That said, I miss a lot of stuff about Easter today. I miss the manicotti. I miss the chicken cutlets. We are making wedding soup. I have wedding soup downstairs. But just getting together with family. We FaceTime with my dad, my stepmom, and the boys got to say hi and happy Easter. The boys still got their Easter baskets and stuff. Eating candy at 9 a.m. is a thing. And today, Actually, Lynn's downstairs packing orders right now. We're working. The boys are playing on their video games for now. But after this, we're gonna do our thing. We're gonna make dinner and get together and try to make something out of this. My brother's normally here with us, with his family on Easter. We have friends of ours that are normally here, and we miss that. And I think we're really going to appreciate it when we have the opportunity to get back together. Um, I look forward to that. So, but I really do. I love the fact that you guys are here with me. I do appreciate this, the fact that you guys take your time out of your Easter Sunday and spend a little bit of time with me. So, what are you guys doing today? Show me in the comments. What's your big thing today? How's it changed for you? And what will you be doing today? How are you making Easter special this year while also doing your social distancing? Um, we had a thing yesterday where so Nicholas and Ryan play Fortnite together once in a while. Nicholas, being the older one, has friends he plays with. They're more advanced. They're better. They've been playing it for years. Ryan's brand new to it. So, uh, Ryan wants Big Brother to play with him, but Ryan also gets frustrated really fast when he gets picked on online. Like not picked on like verbally, but picked on like, he gets killed easily in the game. So he wants to play this creative portion of Fortnite with his older brother. And so Nicholas said, not right now. How about later? Right? And that's something we all do. We number one, we say, no for valid reasons a lot of times. But then we say maybe later without setting a significant next step or a specific next step. And so the conversation that I had to jump in on there was, okay, you told your brother maybe later. When specifically later? Well, what do you mean? Well, you told him later, so why don't you make a plan when later you're going to get together? And then in your mind, you know that this is when that commitment's going to happen. You go follow through on that, but you're also going to be focused and you're not going to be pulled away from something else. Like we plan ahead. And then Ryan, oh, it's no big deal, Dad. It's no big deal. But it's not. And for a kid at 9 and 6, it's not a huge deal. But I kind of wanted to instill a couple of things here. One was follow through on commitments. The other was to set a specific next step so that there is a commitment and so that there are clear expectations going forward. And that's the biggest problem. It's something they talk about in sales a lot, like have specific steps, set the right expectations. And that works in every aspect of life. Like, what is the proper expectation here? And so, personally, we can follow through on those expectations, and that's a habit we should have: is follow through on the commitments we make, so that we, meet the expectations that we set for ourselves and that other people set for us and we set for them. But it gives this sense of, it goes back to that, I have this thing I need to do. I don't know what I'm going to do it. And it just kind of gets rolled around in your mind and it creates anxiety and stress and whatever. Where if you say, well, okay, 3 o'clock, it's now noon, we're eating lunch, I'm going to go do other things. But I know at 3 o'clock, Ryan and I are going to get on Fortnite and I'm going to play around with my brother, right? So, there's no disappointment. There's no miscommunication. There's no, later at night, Ryan going, well, I thought we were going to play together. Well, you never said anything to me. Well, wait, you were supposed to say that. There's none of that, right? We know at 3 o'clock we're getting together. And that's it. And we can do that in our lives too. Like, think about how many times family and friends, you say, oh, we need to get together sometime. Yeah, we should get together sometime. And then sometime turns into 5 years, you don't see each other, right? Maybe not that drastic, but you know what I mean. Oh, it's been so long, we should do it. Yeah, we should. And then it keeps on going, right? So try, as reasonably as you can, to set expectations and set commitment times and follow through on it, right? That's a habit. Following through on that is big. But so that friend look, we should get together next month. Yeah, you're right. We should get together next month. Can we set a tentative date? Like, let's say, well, what's the third Saturday of May look like for you? Okay, and then at least you have it on the schedule, and it almost forces you to have to communicate, even if you have to change it, right? But you're not going to want to change it. You want to see this person, so in your mind, that's now on paper, right? It's now a commitment. So now you work everything else around it, and nothing's going to pop into that time. And if something does, you communicate, and you go back and forth and say, well, how about the next weekend? That's fine too, right? And as long as you both want to do it, it should follow through. But a lot of times we both want to do things and we just kick it down the road. It even happens that way with relationships in the house. How many marriages say that we just kind of lost the spark? Well, it's because you weren't intentional about keeping the spark alive. You got to set expectations. Let's have a date Saturday at 7 o'clock. We're going out to dinner. Or next Saturday, or whenever you got to set it out there, right? Same thing with bosses. If you have a boss or if you are a boss, setting expectations with employees or supervisors, right? It's all like even in here, if we say, hey, we need to meet this week via Zoom, if we don't put it on the calendar, it's not going to happen. Or it's going to happen, or it's going to try to happen, and schedules don't work and whatever. We need to say, hey, look, let's meet Mondays at 12. And if we don't do that, then it just sometimes doesn't happen, or a lot of times doesn't happen. So if in thinking about family and all this other stuff, we're going to have a lot of people that we haven't seen in a while. So set a date. You can set a date now. Look, I missed you guys for Easter. Why don't we plan Easter dinner in July, right? Somebody said that in our comments on Good Friday, because I was talking about how much I miss Good Friday. Good Friday in July. Assuming all this is gone, let's say the third week in July, we're going to have Good Friday, right? We'll do all the same menu. We'll invite all the same people. Let's have a good time. Or whatever it might be for you. It could be something completely different, but, set that forward date so that you have something to look forward to anticipate, to plan for, and then you make sure you get back together. All of this right now, the situation we're in, should teach us to rebuild these relationships in a more intentional way, I think. All right, so let's see. What are you guys doing? I'm going to move the comments over so I can read them better. Carrie had a worship service online this morning. The rest of the day will be quiet around here, planning a big family gathering after all this is over. Exactly. We're on the same page. We want to do the same thing. If I'm assuming we're going to be in the new house, right? We just want to have everybody over. We'll invite the neighbors. We'll invite people we don't know, like come on over. Let's just get to know each other and have a good time, right? I'll cook some meat. You guys bring some side dish you like. We'll provide, the drinks, and whatever. Let's have a good time. Kathy says, missing the grandkids. You know what? My kids miss the grandparents. It's tough. Missing. I can't talk. Missing the grandkids, but we're making the best of it and barbecuing steaks. Yes. Meat is something hard to find at the store, so I splurged and ordered Omaha steaks. Very good. I've never had Omaha steaks. I almost did. We were cleaning out my grandmother's freezer after she passed away. Actually, it was before she passed away. She was in Florida, and she was down there for good at that point. And she told me to go into her apartment, and she was like leading me around on the phone, like, hey, grab this, honey. I want you to have this. And so she's like, oh, I know you like the barbecue. Go in my freezer. There's a bunch of Omaha steaks in there. So I pulled them out, and I took them home and opened them up, and they were disgusting. Grandma had steaks in her freezer from a long time ago. I don't know if she ever ate them, like was eating them before she left, but I don't know, that they were nasty. My like, you could, like, when you open the, like, I didn't even know that frozen food could smell bad, but when we opened them, my wife was in the other room going, she went, woo, what is that? I was like, oh, those are those steaks we were looking forward to eating tonight. But I remember that. So I remember my grandmother used to stock up on stuff like that. When we were kids, we'd go over her house on whatever day, Sundays usually, but we'd go there for breakfast. and I'd go into the fridge and grab orange juice and pour the orange juice, take a sip, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I was like a teenager or younger, and it tasted like beer. It was fermenting. Like, if you ever had orange juice that sat too long, it was fermenting in her fridge. And then the ketchup, my cousin pulled out a bottle. I still remember this. My cousin pulled out a bottle of ketchup from the pantry, and it was brown. It's how old it was, and the date on it was expired years ago. And at some point, I remember going through that pantry and finding like pickles, jars of all kinds of stuff that were just old, really old, really old. So Grandma had a habit of keeping things a little bit longer, like past the expiration date. Um, yeah, but Omaha Steaks, I definitely I'm a little uh, jealous about that one. I think we might have steaks in the freezer. Probably not the highest quality, but we'll end up thawing those out on a nice day and cooking them in the barbecue. Debbie says supper for two instead of entire family, sewing masks for community use, making mask kits for neighbor who wants to help making them, and setting up work at home office since I'm teleworking as of tomorrow. Cool, Debbie. Hey, Debbie, help me out. Have you looked into the type of fabric that you need for that? I know, like, they're saying, like, fine cotton works really well, but I've seen videos online where people, like, spray aerosols through the masks and it just, everything gets through. And if you show an N95 mask, nothing gets through. And I'm wondering, how effective a lot of this stuff is. Have you looked into the type of fabric that you're using for that? Because I'm actually going to have to try to make one for myself. And I want to make sure that I have as much protection as possible. Levi says, worship service via Facebook Live. That's cool. I like that all these people are doing this stuff. Then with my adult children, we're all cooking brunch in our own kitchens and then eating together as a family via Zoom. Hopefully share our recipes. That's awesome. That's very cool. What's up, buddy?
Who ate my chocolate bunny?
I don't know.
Someone ate the head of my chocolate bunny.
Well, is there a chocolate bunny that hasn't been eaten? Maybe that one's yours, because Nicholas was looking to eat the head of his chocolate bunny. Maybe look at the other bunny. Close my door, please. Close my door. Close my door.
Okay.
Thanks, man. Chocolate bunnies losing their heads around here. Levi says, Nick, it's my understanding that when you build integrity, making an agreement means all the bullet points like time, date, etc. And if that agreement has to change, communicating a new agreement is part of that integrity. That's absolutely true. And that's so, you're going to get into a whole thing about people that avoid conflict, and a lot of people that avoid conflict. And this used to frustrate me as a salesperson. Like, you can tell me no. Let's have a hard conversation. Tell me no. I'd like for you to tell me why no, but no's okay, right? And so, I'm still going back to the chocolate bunny head missing. But integrity is it, like, saying no to people is okay, right? And what a lot of people do is they say, yeah, I'll get back to you, and they never do. And then the other person's going, are they really getting back to me? Are they not getting back to me? And if the other person gave you an out, then they almost sometimes they feel insulted by the fact that you kind of ghosted them, right? Because they're saying, like, I told you it's okay to say no. Like, tell me that, but don't make me think like we do have something going on in the future, right? And so a lot of people, I don't know why, because people mask it or feel that it's polite to I don't even know why I did that, but people feel like it's polite to like blow it off or not mention something or whatever, rather than have a direct conversation. And you know what? And that's something that Brene Brown talks about, like having those hard rumbling with emotion and rumbling with hard conversations. And it can be about whatever subject, but sometimes you really need to dive into why. But a lot of it, going back to the integrity thing, that's what that's all about. Like, I will do this at this time. If I can't, then we can have a conversation. Or even if you, like, we talk a lot about saying no, because if you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to a bunch of other things, right? So saying no, like, look, I'd love to, but I know that I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to have other things on my plate that I need to address first. And then people get weird about it, like, what are you doing? What are you doing that's so important? Like, I get it. And it's easier to say, you know what, yeah, sure, and then just kind of blow it off. But from a integrity point of view, and then once you start setting those boundaries, it gets easier down the road to continue to set them. And then people also don't push back on things. People know you've set these boundaries, so they don't push back on them so much. So, and I have a hard time with this too. Believe me, I am one to definitely try to placate somebody in the short term, knowing that I'm not going to be able to fulfill it in the future. It happens. Kathy, your pastor's planning a belated Easter service. Good. It's good that people are doing that. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it's cathartic, I'm sure. Carrie, that's what my family is doing, planning a big family gathering this summer that would normally do on Easter. That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna do something probably bigger than we normally do for Easter. Levy, honoring your agreement also means that if you have to change things for any reasons, we have integrity to create new possibilities and create a new agreement. Yeah, that's awesome. And yes, chocolate bunny emergency. Yep, somebody ate my chocolate. They're the same chocolate bunny. They both got the same chocolate bunny. So one doesn't have a head, but for some reason that's the one he thought it was his. I don't know. They're the same thing. I don't know. They have, they got Peeps, right? You have to have Peeps. Whether you like them stale, which I do, or fresh, which I do too. Peeps are great. But now they have pancakes and syrup flavored Peeps. And I think I've seen other ones too. I've even seen Coffee Mate in the stores. It's Peep flavored, which seems way too. I don't put anything in my coffee. Peeps just seems like it would just be like sugar in my coffee, too much. But I am looking forward to pancakes and syrup Peeps. I have to try one. I cannot wait to try that. We did have pancakes this morning. I am certain I overdid it on my carb intake for the day, and we have jelly beans and everything else downstairs. So today is a trouble day. Today is a trouble day. Debbie says cotton fabric only, so they can be washed and sanitized. Mine are made per instructions from the hospital for non-medical use, and I do not have pockets for filters, so they should be laundered after each use. Hubby and I have 2 each, so we can wear and wash them with an extra ready to be used. PM me your address, and I will send some for you and the family. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I will. That's pretty cool. Thank you. Deborah just got on Happy Easter ordering lunch from a local restaurant. Awesome. I saw there's a lot of local restaurants that are opening up today for a short period of time for that. Peaceful walk this morning. Streaming mass, just not the same. I know. You should bring your kids on the screen to say hi. I will one day. I will. We'll get them on here. Right now, I'm sure I won't be able to pull them away from their candy and video games, but we'll plan on it. You bought your daughter, Angel bought her daughter Peep cereal. Rarely buy sugary cereals, but I figured an exception was needed given the pandemic and all. So, I agree, right? So I've never had more bags of Doritos in my house than we do right now. And we're rationing them, but it's funny because once you open one, it's hard to continue to ration it. But we have more snacks in our house now than we've ever had. I'm eating more carbs now than I probably have in years. And you feel that way, like, yeah, like right now, it's, do what you can, right? And I'm still losing weight, so I'm not doing that bad. But yeah, we don't normally buy sugary cereals either. We bought like chocolate and peanut butter Cheerios, which really aren't that bad. But they have Pop-Tarts that they normally are not big Pop-Tart eaters. Canned orange, or those oranges in a cup. What else? The candy that we have now. But even pancakes and sausage, like we don't even do that very often. But you can tell, like, so we have yogurt going bad in the fridge because they're off of like their really healthy diet and they're eating more like Pop-Tarts and stuff. So we're gonna have to switch back over to the healthy stuff once we get rolling. But we really didn't have a whole lot of like yogurt and things anyway. But yeah. One of the things that they love out of this whole pandemic, one of the foods they love, is mac and cheese, which we never make. So they're eating mac and cheese, and then Lynn, because I I bought a case of Vienna sausage. You know, Nicholas wanted it, and it was almost like Vienna sausage was a nostalgic buy for me, right? Because in the Air Force, the food they told you to keep on hand in case of an emergency, one of the things was Vienna sausages. And I love them in the Air Force. And in the commissary in the Air Force, they have like, it's not just the regular flavor. They have like other things. They have like Vienna sausages and mustard. They have Vienna sausages and barbecue sauce. Like, so, we'd go out, and at 18 years old on Guam, you can drink at 18 years old, and I'd never really had a drink in my life. So, a bunch of us would go out on the town and come home, and you kind of have the munchies when you get home. And I would dig into my reserve of Vienna sausages. And so, I probably packed on a quick 5 pounds. God, and I went into the military like 118 pounds. So I like packing on 5 pounds, not really a big deal at that size. But I probably packed on 5 pounds solely due to Vienna sausages. So now what the boys are doing with this little mini stockpile of Vienna sausages we have is Lynn takes them out and cuts them into little chunks and puts them into their mac and cheese. So they're eating mac and cheese with Vienna sausages. And my kid, my oldest, they both love it, but my oldest, I mean, half of the package of mac and cheese, he crushed it last night. Crushed it. He is loving mac and cheese with Vienna sausages. So now that we have this ham coming up today, Lynn is very excited that she's going to be able to put real ham into the mac and cheese and not Vienna sausages. I don't know how my kids are going to like that. We'll see how they feel about it. But yeah, it's right now it's a thing. It's funny. It's going to be like their tomato soup from like the Depression. People are eating tomato soup and toast, and I think Vienna sausages and mac and cheese is going to be their pandemic food that they remember 40 years from now. They're going to tell their grandkids in 70 years, when I was your age, I was eating mac and cheese and Vienna sausages. Like it was like that bad. So, Angel, I think I might be finding the weight you are losing. Not certain though, because I have not found the scale yet since moving. Yeah. It's funny. I don't know how it's happening. I think what I'm doing is that I'm eating smaller meals through the day and not eating like a big amount at the end of the day. I'm eating less healthy food though, so I'm gonna have to watch it because I don't want I don't want to take a blood test when I'm done with this and find out my cholesterol is through the roof or whatever. So I'm really watching it now. But I was, my issue was I didn't want to dig into all the healthy frozen vegetables we have too early. So, trying to plan it out. But that's where planning out our meals in my Define My Day helped out a lot. Where I have week 1, this is what we're going to eat. Week 2, this is what we're going to eat in that section at the beginning of each week. That helped out a lot. And we did not overdo it this entire time. We have a little bit of chicken left over from Thursday. And we'll probably finish that for lunch today while we're cooking everything else. We did pretty well. We didn't waste anything, which was good. And we know we have food for at least a few more weeks without having to leave the house. So, Levi said, did anybody put hot dogs in tomato soup? I don't know, but I mean, it's like hot dogs swimming in ketchup almost, right? Just thin ketchup. I think that would be great. And hot dogs, oh my God, what are we doing with processed meats right now? Hot dogs we've eaten twice. And if I make hot dogs twice in an entire year, that's saying something. But we've had hot dogs twice already in the past couple of weeks, and the boys love them. It's funny because it's all these things that they don't normally get because we're normally eating pretty healthy foods for dinner. They eat better than we do. But so now they're like, hot dogs. And we told them like that joke about what hot dogs are made of, lips and other parts. And they find it absolutely hilarious. And we have a video of Ryan busting a gut just laughing about like what hot dogs are made of. And if you've seen The Great Outdoors, he talks about what hot dogs are made of. And so it was just kind of that line I was repeating. And Ryan lost his mind over it, dying laughing. I mean, he had all of us rolling because he was laughing so hard. It was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, hot dogs. Ugh. We're really like, man, I'm really gonna have to go back at my clean food after this. It's gonna probably be a hard change. Oh boy, yeah. But if you see this thing on my arm, I'm having a hard time with my grilling right now. I don't know if my brain is fried or what, but I almost burned down my grilling hut cooking those hot dogs with my smoker. I turned the smoker on high and it started a grease fire that was out of control. And I saved the hot dogs rather than saving the fire, the enclosure. But then the next day, I was grilling chicken, or maybe it was 2 days later, I was grilling chicken. And I went to go, I use a Weber charcoal grill, right? And it's just a kettle grill, right? And I reached around it to open the, like, I guess it's like a flue, or like where the air comes up through the bottom, and I touched the side of the grill, and I got that bad boy. I life is dangerous for me right now around this house. I don't know. I'm brain dead or something. I don't know. But so that was, I like, it didn't really even hurt that bad. It looks a lot worse than it is. But yeah, I man, having a hard time. Having a hard time. Well, yeah. So yeah, but that's it. That's it. We're getting back to we're gonna get back to regular life hopefully next week, and I think next week is gonna be about managing emotions. Whether it's excitement or disappointment, depending on how things go. But after this week, there's no holidays for a while. There's Mother's Day, there's Father's Day, which is going to be a little bit weird. Um, you have your Memorial Day weekend. If you normally have a barbecue for that. So I mean, all these things that we're hoping are going to be normal. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, you know what? It's actually a little tender, but it's really not bad. I just keep bumping it on things now. But yeah, it's crazy. Debbie says mac and cheese with tuna melts, tomato soup, and grilled cheese sandwiches, and chili dogs with tater tots are the grandkids' go-to meals at our house. Yeah, so we actually had. I made, man, the tomato soup with grilled cheese really sounds good, doesn't it? I don't think I bought any. I took a picture of the big pallet of tomato soup that the grocery store had. It was funny because I don't know, I mean, we don't need to go to tomato soup, but I guess it's just like that. Like that's what we'd buy during a pandemic, right? Or a recession or a depression or whatever. So yeah, so there's a big pallet of tomato soup that I took a picture of at our grocery store. I thought it was funny. But tomato soup and grilled cheese does actually sound really good. I used to love dipping it into the soup. Um, but sandwiches, grilled cheese sandwiches, chili dogs, and tater tots. I made. That's actually something I need to get on my food schedule. I made a barbecue brisket about a month ago, and we froze it, and I froze the burnt ends. And I have to find the recipe, but I want to make burnt ends chili. And so I have all the ingredients to make it from scratch, and I need to do it before my onions go bad. So I'm probably gonna have to do it soon. But I'm really looking forward to making that. I wish I had tater tots. I did not think to buy tater tots before this all started. We probably didn't have room for them anyway. Uh, we did have. I made fresh cut French fries that I made a few months ago, and I froze half of them. So when we made the hot dogs last week for the boys, I made the French fries too. So and Angel says her 15th wedding anniversary is in May, and it would be really nice to have a dinner out. Yeah, yeah. My 15th is coming up in September, so I hope you can certainly get to yours. We better be able to go out for mine. Yeah, that would be a shame if you can't. Early May or late May? Early May might be tough. I don't know, depending on how things go. But late May, I'm hoping like things are okay. I don't know. It's like testing and medications and treatments and whatever. Who knows? I don't know. There's so many different forces. You know, who wants to make the economy better, but at what risk? And who believes that this is actually a thing anyway? There's people out there that don't believe it is. Which I actually found an article. Actually, I have it up right now. The article is why smart people believe coronavirus myths. I thought it was very good. I'm going to post it in the comments right now. Late May the 30th. I hope it's good by then. Hopefully. So I posted the article, Why Smart People Believe Coronavirus Myths. A lot of it they mention in here is just the amount of information. It's just information overload. The other thing is the like the like people get stuck into like a narrative, a storyline. But one of them that I found was very interesting because I think about this when I think of some of my friends that follow these conspiracy theories. It's their ability to override reactions. So a lot of people, they have this test. It's a cognitive reflection test, and they measure a tendency to like follow a train of thought rather than stop and check it, right? And there's this quick, like, this is a component of the test. I'll ask you the test. So, Emily's father has 3 daughters. The first 2 are named April and May. What is the third daughter's name? So go ahead and give me that third daughter's name. And this will let you know how if and they have other questions like this through the test. So let me know what your answer is. So and basically that it's not that people are not intelligent. It's that like to come to solutions, you need to pause and override that initial gut response. And what they have is they call these people cognitive misers. They might have mental reserves, like significant, strong mental reserves, but they don't spend it. So they don't use their critical thinking ability to take in the whole picture. They just follow down this narrative. Let me see. I saw somebody comment. Emily. So you guys got it. There we go. That's why you guys are such awesome people. I like hanging out with you. So Emily, right? So Emily's father has 3 daughters. The first 2 are named April and May. Who's the third daughter, right? Some people will just instinctively say June because they don't take in, like, they just follow the easiest path. And, it's, yeah. So, yeah, Levi, you got it. And so that that's kind of like, and they say you're especially susceptible if you're only taking in one narrative. So if somebody gets stuck into a specific point of view because they're just hearing one thing over and over and over again, it's easier to continue to follow that. And if you're not like, if you're CNN, you stick to CNN and you only hear that. If you're Fox News, then you just keep listening to Fox News and you only hear that. So it just makes more and more sense. And if you're something else out there, then it's the same thing, right? So it's funny because I see incredibly intelligent people that follow these narratives, and you go, what? And it's hard. It's hard, especially when you see people that are smart that follow the wrong path. So for anybody in their mind, it's funny because anybody in their mind, like I did it when I read that. I read it. Well, is it June? And then I started reading it again. I'm like, no, it's Emily. Like, so I even went that way for a moment. I'm like, wait, speed breaks can't be that easy. So we just gotta pay attention. So, all right, I'm gonna start wrapping this up here. But check out that article. It's a very interesting article. I hope you guys all have an amazing Easter Sunday today. Um, I wish you and your family the best. I hope you're healthy. Stay healthy. And, we're going to do the same here. We're going to enjoy our time together. I want to play some games with the boys. If it's warm enough and not raining, which it looks like it's getting sunnier out, it's supposed to get close to 70. It's 65, it says right now. So we're going to get outside, get a little bit of fresh air, and enjoy what we have. Um, you know, and that's it. Just be, I guess. Um, Angel says she's a data junkie, taking a lot of information from different sources, and I try to find a reality. And that is amazing. That is where we should all be. Don't just try to prove, an initial opinion or initial idea. So, and that's why we get along, Angel. That's why we get along. Happy Easter, Levi. It's good to see you. Have a beautiful day too. Yeah, yeah. Everybody enjoy their day. I miss you guys, and I'll see you soon here tomorrow. I'll be over on the Define My Day page, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll keep up on the regular schedule, and let's talk then. Have a great day.